Welcome back to JAW Media, the much-awaited third and final segment of our product review for the Polaroid Underwater Housing for the Canon Rebel series cameras. We originally shot a presentation for the segment on the water, but something unexpected happened. Well, embarrassing thing happened. We lost a camera and housing in 20 feet of water. That was back in September of 2015. We had given up hopes of recovering the camera and finishing the YouTube product review, and then 3 months later, we got a phone call.
Hello, sir. My name is Robin Petit. I'm calling because I think you may have lost your Canon Rebel 3DI somewhere in the water, and we have found it. So if you want to give me a call back, my number is 305-20.
How lucky can you get, and how honest can people be? These were the thoughts we had in mind as we drove over to the Petit family apartment in Miami to get the camera and housing back. How is it possible to lose a camera at sea and recover it fully functioning 3 months later? Let's find out.
Well, it's very simple. I was cleaning up the bay with my little one, trying to teach her the impact of the trash on the environment and the fish life and the wildlife. And was high tide, and we were right here at the marina where I live, picking up floating bottles, debris, plastic bags. And after 45 minutes doing this, I see a strange object floating on the between a boat, right on the bay, surrounded by algae. And I pick it up, and this is what I run into. A well-made Polaroid underwater case, and inside the case was a brand new Canon camera as well.
I imported a video on my sister's computer, and I had to replay the beginning of a video a few times to find out the name of your YouTube, JAW Media. I saw the part 1 YouTube and how you explain the camera, how you explain
that same exact case.
This is part 3, the final part that we're filming right now, which is,
Part 3, the camera was underwater for 6 months and came without even a scratch, even no humidity in the case, so it's a very well-made case. So whoever designed this for Polaroid knows what they're doing. Although you don't see any shell on it because it got cleaned up, but the case was covered with shells. And when I opened it, just the camera was impeccable. It's amazing to think, although you did it without noticing it, you dropped that camera at the bottom of the ocean and you couldn't find it again. But it's amazing to think that debris that you leave in the ocean end up after 5 months, 90 blocks away, went through the bay, through a cut into the land, into an inland, and into the bay, and ended up in a marina, stuck between trash and other crap from the ocean that people have evidently dropped in the water or thrown in the water. And just amazing that 6 months later or 5 months later, it's still there floating.
Now, one thing we have to say is that Yannick here fell in love with the camera.
That's right.
And so, he's a little disappointed. But
he did the right thing. Yes, for doing the right thing, for looking up on the chip further, and then further investigating who was because he thought that there was sound on the chip, which I was surprised because from this you can imagine there is a sound intake, and with that found the name of your company, found you on YouTube, and then from there called your number, and here you are, getting your camera 6 months later.
Okay, well, we're
going
to speak to the manufacturers about this and see what happens. Thank you very much, guys. So after all this drama at sea, we'll leave you with our original thoughts about the Polaroid underwater housing for the Canon Rebel. We did this before we lost the camera in the water for 3 months. As you can tell, I'm here out of the water in South Florida, and I am currently enjoying the use of this underwater housing from Polaroid for the Canon Rebel 3TI or EOS 600D. And overall, I would say it's worked out pretty well. As you could see in our previous chapter on this series, we did have some problems. Polaroid fixed them, and I think it's a reliable, more sophisticated underwater filming and photographic setup. If you're a beginner, you might be more interested in a GoPro or Sea Life, where you just turn the camera on and you shoot and film. But with this camera setup, the Canon Rebel 3TI and the corresponding Polaroid underwater housing, you can take it to the next step.